music lovers. Today we are taking a deep dive into a world that I adore, which is the world of James Bond songs. Certainly no other film franchise has given us just the sheer number and quality of iconic theme songs as the James Bond franchise, written by just a whole who's who of writers and performers from the pop music world of the last 50, 60 years. I think Diamonds Are Forever epitomizes everything that is great about a Bond song, and we're going to take it apart. Diamonds Are Forever, it was written by John Barry and Don Black in 1971. This was the seventh Bond movie, and John Barry had been with it from the very beginning, so this was his seventh Bond film that he had written the score for. He was there helping to bring the iconic theme to life. More about that later. And I think any songwriter would think that writing a Bond song would be the dream job, but it's actually quite a difficult assignment. You have a lot of responsibilities. You have to write something, first of all, that's a great song, which is not easy. You have to write something that feels like it's part of the James Bond musical vocabulary, the musical world, because there is such a history of it. And even in 1971, there had been 7 movies. John Barry was obviously better prepared than most to write something that fell into that world because he helped create it. But still, it takes thought, and we'll see how he did that. You also have to give some nod to the story of the movie. The theme of the song has to reflect something of what's going on, usually uses the title of the film to be the title of the song. Not always, but usually, and that is the case here. You also have to sum up everything that is great about the Bond universe, which is danger and intrigue and suspense and sex and romance and international glamour. You have to deliver on all these fronts, otherwise it's not going to be a great song. This one is. We're going to look at why. Let's start at the very beginning. We get this. Already iconic, right? What is it? We have a B minor triad with this added 2. So right away we have a minor chord with this little buzz of danger, of sex appeal, of dissonance, of tension right in the middle of it. It comes from the Bond theme. So let's back up. When the producers, Albert Broccoli, Cubby Broccoli, and Harry Saltzman, were first bringing composers in to write for the Bond movies, they went to a lot of British music theater writers, actually, because they wanted songs that told story, and they knew that music theater writers know how to tell story with their songs. So they brought in someone named Monty Norman, and he was a performer, British performer. He had written a few musicals. They brought him in on Dr. No, which was the first movie, and he was writing some score, some underscoring, some songs, some sort of background songs that were happening and some songs that were happening on the screen. But they were like, we need the title. We need the title song because we need to start working on the graphics, the opening credits, and we need the song to guide it to. And he was kind of drawing a blank. He went back to his trunk. He went back to an old song that he had written for a show of his that never made it. And he just grabbed that and he thought, well, this sounds kind of fun and kind of sexy. And it, of course, was... It was that. It had lyrics. Crazy. But yes, that does actually have lyrics somewhere. So he delivered that, but the producers still weren't entirely happy with how it was coming out, so they brought in John Barry. John Barry was already a very successful performer. He had his own band. He was a trumpet player, but was also doing some movie scoring. He came in at the last minute and arranged it. And it's that arrangement that makes that theme so iconic. That brass, the electric guitar, the groove, that great swinging 60s groove. Right from the very beginning, you get this chord that I was just talking about. The minor chord with the add 2. Those first chords that I just played for you. It's a minor chord with a 6, but basically a B minor chord with, you get ba-da, 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 2 1 2 1 2 1, and then that amazing electric guitar line. 1 2 2 2 1 1 1 1 3 3 3 2 2 2 2. We're pounding away on this chord with that 2. You get it a third time, that hard swinging section in the middle. 1 1 1 2 1 2 3 3 3 2 1 2. It's all there. John Barry has taken that and turned it into this little sparkling diamond. What does he do next? He uses the other iconic part of the theme, which is, of course, he turns that into our diamond theme. So we have the first two chords of the theme, and he's turned it into so he's already anchored this song firmly in the universe of James Bond music, which he wrote, but still, really, really brilliant and subtle. The vocal comes in. Diamonds are forever. Just a perfect fifth. Simple little idea. If you've seen my video on Cole Porter's So in Love, ideas can be almost nothing, just an interval. It's what you do with them that counts. He has just a perfect fifth, which is the most stable, the most lasting of intervals. It's perfect for diamonds. Diamonds are forever. And we still have this figure going. It steps up like it did in the intro. It changes. The melody doesn't. The diamonds don't. They stay exactly the same. They are all I need to please me. And we get this dissonance now. Because the diamonds have stayed the same, the accompaniment has changed. That's what it sounds like to please this woman also. It's dangerous. There's a little bit of sex appeal to it. It's a great touch. Then we move it down. They can stimulate and tease me. He sequences the melody down, meaning he just takes the melody, the intervallic relationships, and he has moved them down. That's what a sequence is. You can take a whole little phrase, move it up, move it down. You get a sequence. Good example would be, embrace me, my sweet embraceable you. He moves it up a fourth, embrace me, my irreplaceable you. Many times, I would say most times, a sequence will go up. If you're going to repeat a phrase, it makes sense that I'm going to say it the second time and mean it a little more, with a little bit more urgency. Not here. He sequences it down. They are all I need to please me. They can stimulate and tease me. Taking it down gives us this grounded sense, and I don't think it's a coincidence that it is the word stimulate. I don't think it's a coincidence that she gets her stimulation a little bit lower. That's all I'm going to say. They won't leave in the night. So we get these jazz chords that start coming in here. We've only had minor chord with a little extra added dissonance in the middle. We get this. We get a little 7 chord, stimulate and tease me. Bass comes in here. They won't leave. E minor 7, our first jazz chord. John Barry, of course, from a jazz background, big band, trumpeter, had his own band, writing his own songs. He's very comfortable with jazz chords, extended harmonies that turn into complicated, complex, lush chords that have dissonance hidden in them. Leave in the night, I've no fear. We're here on a C major 9 chord, which is already quite extended, but he's prepared us for it because it is actually, if you take an E minor 7 chord, you step the bass down to a C, you get the C major 9. And if you now include the vocal note, there's no fear that they might desert. This fully extended C major 7 sharp 11 chord. Really, really lush and rich. Desert me. And we get this trumpet sting, which is, I think, an echo from the theme. We get da-da-da-da-da to an A7, which is sort of the end of a thought. Interestingly, it doesn't go anyplace. It goes back to our B minor. Kind of an evaded cadence, but it's like we're starting all over again. He does the same thing again. We have more of a groove. We now have a bass. For it, diamonds are forever. Hold one up and then caress it. Touch it, stroke it, and undress it. So, P.S., I was getting a little naughty with the stimulate comment, but this song was too dirty for Harry Saltzman. They played it for him. These lyrics here, hold one up and then caress it, touch it, stroke it, undress it. He was like, are you kidding me? We can't use that. That's filthy. John Barry told him he had no taste. Saltzman stormed out. There was a big fight. And it was Albert Broccoli who said, you know what, let's use it. I like it. We continue on the same way it was the first time. I can see every part. Nothing hides in the heart. We get that great C major sharp 11 chord to hurt me, which is a great chord for hurt. Another sting. And then this beautiful release, this bridge section. And what makes a great bridge is its contrast to the A section. We have an A section, another A section, and now we want to go someplace else. We don't want to stick in the same musical vocabulary. It's getting repetitive. We need a release that actually releases, that goes someplace new. It climbs up the scale. I don't need love. And we're in F sharp minor, which is a new chord area for us. This is the minor 5. And we have long notes, finally. It's been very conversational, lots of short notes, eighth notes, triplet eighth notes, 16th notes. We have a big whole note. I don't need love. Going even higher now on this very dramatic and rangy, deep diving melody. For what good will love do me? He sequences this down. Diamonds never lie to me. And it's the exact same sequence and the same notes as our A section. So it's different, but it's the same. It's variation on something familiar. That's what makes a great song hold together. Remember, it was originally, all I need to please me. They can stimulate and tease me. This is, for what good will love do me? Diamonds never lie to me. Still using these perfect fifths. Still basing our song on basically one idea. Back to this C major 7th chord. He keeps coming back here. We're going to see it again later. For when love's gone. That's my favorite progression in the whole song. We go from C major 7 to F sharp 7. And any jazz people out there will know tritone relationship. C to F sharp is a tritone. That relationship makes for some very, very compelling and sexy progressions. Normally, it would be a C7 to an F sharp, which would share many notes in common. This makes it even a little sexier because we're going from C major 7 and that goes down to the 3rd of the F sharp 7 chord. And of course, Shirley Bassey, who we'll get to in a moment. For when love's gone, just stretching out this little half-step trill. They luster on, and this dramatic tritone jump then, which by the way is not what it is in the sheet music. Sheet music, unlike Diamonds, will lie to you. Ignore the sheet music sometimes, go and listen to the original. Because it also lies to you here. It tells you that it is this chord. They luster on. It is not this chord. It is not just a diminished 7th chord. It is a much, much more dense and interesting chord. It is actually F sharp 7, flat 9, sharp 9. I'm not going to get into that too much, but it sounds like this. It has a lot of dissonance in it. We have the F sharp and the G, which is the flat 9. We have the A sharp and the A natural, which is the sharp 9. Stop. Full stop. Bringing the drama that we need from a Bond song. And then sex itself, the electric bass, comes in. And we're finally into a full groove. We get this 16th note, hi-hat, tambourine groove, full-on 60s grooviness. Diamonds are forever. Another A section, just a groovier arrangement. We go through that. That all finishes up again with our C major 7 sharp 11 chord. Not worth going to your grave for. Back to the bridge. We want to hear it again. It's so nice. Would be a shame just to hear it once. I don't need love, for what good will love do me, etc. Shirley Bassey does some little changes to it the second time around because she's an artist. After we get to our crazy chord one more time, we go to the coda. Seems like it's just going to be the A again. Diamonds are forever, forever, forever. We're just going to keep repeating it now. We're going to drive it home. Diamonds are forever, forever, forever. And now we get the last instance of our C major 7 sharp 11 chord. Forever. And in the last stroke of genius, he jumps up to the root of that chord in the vocal, almost the highest note of the song, and ever, and he holds it over C major, of course, flat 2 in B minor. He resolves the harmony down, but waits to resolve the vocal. It hurts so good. Forever. And we have in the accompaniment, ends on that 2 again, and we're right back to where we started with this B minor chord with that add 2. Perfectly put together. I want to talk about another thing here at the end that is a great example of John Barry's arranging skills. And what is arrangement? Arrangement is the groove. It's the instrumentation. It's where the accompaniment happens. Is it very high? Is it very low? Is there a bass? Is there no bass? Works hand in glove with orchestration as well. And John Barry, being a brass player, brought this brass player sensibility to all of his writing that adds so much to the James Bond universe. It is drama. It is danger. It is machismo. Low brass comes in right at the beginning. They won't leave in the night. I've no fear that they might desert me. Trumpets. The original theme, the trumpet writing is so extreme, I don't think anyone but a brass player could have brought in those trumpet parts and expected a section to play them. They are up on high F as a section. It looks like this. If you're a trumpet player, you know that is ridiculous. And to have a whole section playing at once, it's crazy. But as a brass player, he knew it was possible, and he knew exactly what it sounded like. And he would continue to do these massed brass choirs throughout his orchestrations. Lots of low brass trombone chords in this. And at the end, you get this fantastic rising line that makes this coda more than just another repetitive A section. We have Diamonds Are Forever, and in the bass trombones, we have ba, 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 ba. Do you recognize it? That is our B minor chord with the add 2 from the beginning. It was. And now he's moved it all the way down to the basement, given it to the trombones. And it turns into this dramatic element that builds all the way to the end. We then sequence it up. Ba, 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 ba. French horn section. There may have been as many as 5. I've seen video of some of these orchestras that he used. French horn section is usually 4. 5 is really something. The French horns take over here. Ba-da-da-da. And then into the extreme high horn register. And he gives that last scale degree 2 to the brass, to the high French horns. And it is all drama. And of course, in addition to this fantastic arrangement, they found the perfect partner in Shirley Bassey, Dame Shirley Bassey, who had not only a miraculous instrument, but also the perfect sense of style and glamour and drama. She just wrings every bit of juice out of these lyrics, which I think are some of Don Black's best. Don Black, of course, went on to write lyrics for Sunset Boulevard and Song and Dance and Aspects of Love and Bonnie and Clyde. Became a very, very successful Broadway lyricist. I think these are some of his best. The diamonds linger. They luster on. Luster is a verb. It's just great. And Shirley Bassey, as I said before, she does slight changes from one section to the next. The first release is slightly different from the second release, the way she snakes her way through some of these intervals and those big deep diving melodies. Take a listen to it. It's really a masterclass. This whole song really is a fantastic demonstration of a great songwriter using his craft. First of all, just basing it so tightly in the musical vocabulary of the James Bond universe, taking so much of it from that iconic theme, and then using those few little ideas and turning them around and developing them so that the whole song holds together. One really beautiful, apt chord that expresses your whole world. For example, this is drama and sex and romance and tension and mystery. Keep coming back to it, even at the very end. Take us on a surprising turn at the end. Musical storytelling, that's why we're here. Using all of these musical tools and techniques that we have at our disposal to illuminate character, to set a mood, to inform the drama and the narrative. If you like this kind of thing, please hit like, please hit subscribe. There's going to be many more to come. And until then, cheers.